Hello and welcome to Nintendojo's Nightly News Roundup. Today is July 2nd, 2010, and I'm your host, Noah. We have a few interesting stories that happened today in the world of Nintendo, or at least related to Nintendo. First up, there's been a really interesting study that was taken over in Japan. Almost 9,000 Japanese consumers were polled to ask what they think about the huge 3D TV craze that Sony's trying to push, and that Sony made a lot of noise about in its E3 presentation just a few weeks ago. Well, out of those 9,000 consumers, the stats don't look too good for Sony. It turns out that 67% have no intention of upgrading to a 3D TV, 57% are worried about the price of such upgrades, 40% are worried about the lack of content, and perhaps, in a good sign for Nintendo with its glasses-free 3DS that's coming up, in this survey, 70% of the people don't want to wear glasses. So maybe that's why Sony actually asked Nintendo to stop mocking the glasses, as Nintendo did during much of its press conference where it revealed the 3DS just a few weeks ago in E3. Sony's worldwide studios boss Shuhei Yoshida said, "They're saying the same message we are, but they don't have to bash some small part of what the other company is doing. We'd like to work together to promote 3D." Well, Mr. Yoshida, after all those years of bashing Nintendo during the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 glory golden age, I don't think the Nintendo's going to be playing nice this time around. The next story that I have for you is actually about May's software sales. It turns out that, like April, May's video game software sales are down by 10%. This has brought out the video game industry analysts with a lot of bad news. The reason why that they're really worried is May was actually stacked with a lot of huge releases across all the platforms. Of course, there's Super Mario Galaxy 2 on Wii, but then some other titles, and I'm going to look at my notes again. We have Alan Wake, Blur, Prince of Persia, Shrek, Lost Planet 2, Iron Man 2, and Skate 3. All of those came out during May. Overall video game sales across all platforms down 10%. However, it was Michael Pachter, a favorite video game analyst of ours, who picked on Nintendo particularly. He cited that year over year, the size of the Wii install base is 44% larger, and the size of the DS market install base is 33% larger. However, in May, video game sales were down for both of those platforms. Let me check my numbers to make sure. 29 and 13% respectively for Wii and DS. So what does that mean? Pachter is hypothesizing that either there's not enough software out there for Wii and DS owners, or they just don't want as much software as would be traditionally expected. And with all of the bad stuff going on 360, PS3, and Nintendo machines, Pachter is actually calling the beginning of the Armageddon of the video game industry as we know it. He's basically said, this is a state of persistent secular decline. People aren't buying games, investors aren't going to invest in the companies, you're going to see a lot fewer, well, in the long run you're going to see a steady drop of retail games, manufactured games in stores, and an increase of companies trying to monetize your online game time, like all those hours of Call of Duty, or they're going to be making their games download only. Kind of scary. Now, speaking of downloadable content, I do have one other piece of news. Today, Rock Band 2 got an extra downloadable song pack of Creedence Clearwater Revival songs. It's a 12-song pack. You can buy the whole set for $20, or you can buy each individual song for $2 each. Now, having grown up listening to far more Creedence Clearwater Revival than I care to, I love you, Mom. I just have to say I'm really thankful the Joy to the World is not in this song pack. But the song pack is named 01, so maybe it'll show up in the next one. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Nintendojo's Nightly News Roundup video edition. And if you've got some time, go and check out Nintendojo.com. Today we just wrapped up all of the articles that are in issue 4, Hardcore Apologists. What is it about the exodus of hardcore Wii gamers and hardcore Wii game developers from the Wii? Is it a big deal? Is it something that people should be concerned about, or is it just a bunch of fuzz? We have a lot of articles and editorials about that, and today we posted up something pretty cool you should check out called the Tosterone, which is a humorous look at what the Wii could have been if it were released and marketed and designed to be this total radical, awesome piece of hardware. Go and check it out. We have 3 fake magazine ads for that. We hope you like the show. We hope you like the content of the issue, and come back to our website next week for issue 5, Jumping the Fence, where we talk about great video games that were started or launched on a Nintendo machine, but have since gone on to other pastures, not always greener.